Let's talk about a feeling that so many smart, ambitious people know. And it is just maddening. It's that gap, right? The one between knowing exactly what you should be doing and just not being able to do it.
Does this sound familiar? I mean, really familiar? It's that little voice in your head that can see the whole path laid out, clear as day, but your feet feel like they're stuck in cement. If you've ever said this to yourself, then you are absolutely in the right place.
And this gets us right to the heart of it, what we can call the ambition-inaction paradox. It's this weird situation where your biggest dreams, your ambition, your incredible potential, they don't feel like a gift. No, they feel like this massive, heavy weight, this constant, aching reminder of what you could be doing. And we get trapped in this vicious cycle, this loop. You know how it goes. You get a flash of inspiration, you're all fired up, but then life happens. You miss a day. Then the inner critic pipes up. See? You can't stick with anything. Guilt piles on, then shame, and all that emotional weight just pushes you right back to where you started, stuck.
This is exactly why all that typical advice you see everywhere, just hustle, wake up earlier, grind it out. It just doesn't work for so many of us. It's because it's treating the symptom, which it calls laziness, instead of digging down to the real root cause, a very real, very powerful psychological friction.
So let's get to the most important reframe in this whole conversation. The reason you're stuck isn't because you're lazy. It is not a character flaw. You are not broken. The idea here is that you're buffered. Your inaction is actually a very sophisticated defense mechanism that's just, well, it's a little out of date. Look at this comparison. It really lays out the whole shift in thinking we need. On one side, you've got the story you tell yourself. I'm lazy. I'm unmotivated. But what if the real cause is this powerful cocktail of three different forces? First, just the simple physics of inertia. Second, the hidden downside of having a really smart brain. And third, the invisible rules of the society we live in.
So let's break these down real quick. Inertia is just physics, right? An object at rest tends to stay at rest. When your emotional engine is cold, getting started feels impossibly hard. Then there's overthinking. Your big, beautiful brain can map out 1,000 ways a project could go wrong, so you get paralyzed by all the possibilities. And finally, our societal systems, school, work, they often train us to be obedient and stable, not to take the kind of risks that lead to a truly purpose-driven life.
Okay, so if just trying harder doesn't work, what does? Well, strategy. We need to be clever. We need tiny, psychologically safe, super low-friction actions that basically trick our brains into motion. This is how we turn that friction into flow.
Just think about a goal that feels huge, something like write a blog post or start a new business. The sheer size of that task creates instant resistance. Your brain just sees a giant wall and says, nope, not today.
But what if you changed the goal? What if instead it was just this: write one sentence or do one push-up? The whole point is to make the first step so ridiculously easy, so insultingly simple that your brain doesn't even bother putting up a fight. The goal here isn't success. The goal is just movement.
And that leads us perfectly to the 2-minute rule. It is such a simple, brilliant way to hack your own physics. Just commit to doing something, anything important, for only 2 minutes. That's it. Anyone can do pretty much anything for 120 seconds. But the magic is, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. You'll be amazed how often you just keep going.
Oh, I love this analogy. It's called the tentacle strategy. Imagine you're an octopus in a dark, unfamiliar cave. You don't just swim out blindly, right? No, you extend one tentacle, nice and slow, just to feel around and gather some information. That's what we need to do. Send out a tentacle, a tiny low-risk action like one email. Your goal isn't to succeed or fail, it's just to gather data and prove to your brain that it's safe to move forward.
And this all brings us back to that critical shift in how you see yourself. It's time to retire the word lazy. It's an inaccurate label, and it's loaded with shame. You are not lazy. You are strategically stuck. And you know what's great about a strategy problem? It can be solved with a better strategy.
So once you start using these little micro strategies to get moving, where does it all go? Well, it's not just a bunch of random actions. It's the beginning of a journey, a 5-stage roadmap that takes you from being stuck to building a life of your own design.
Let's just walk through the path really quickly. You start in stagnation, where the goal is just to escape that comfort cage. Then comes ignition, where you break out quietly with those small actions. After that, you accelerate and build real momentum. Then you expand, scaling up smartly. And finally, you reach mastery, where you get to focus on creating a legacy. It's a clear path from paralysis to purpose.
As we wrap up, I really want you to focus on the very, very beginning of that path. It doesn't begin with some huge dramatic leap. It begins with one small, almost invisible decision to take one tiny step. That first step, that's where all the magic is.
And please remember this powerful formula. Every single time you take a small action, you make your fear just a little bit smaller. And every time you repeat that action, you're building trust with yourself. You're literally rewriting your internal story from "I'm the kind of person who always quits" to "I'm the kind of person who shows up."
You don't have to feel strong to start. You don't have to feel confident. You don't even have to feel ready. All you need is intent, the simple intention to take one small step, to honor that part of you that knows you're capable of more. That intent is sacred. So, I'll leave you with this one question. It's not, what's your 5-year plan or what's your massive goal? It's simply this. What is your 2-minute action? What's one tiny, almost laughably easy thing you can do right now to signal to yourself that today a new story begins?